I had a conversation with Marques Brownlee. He's got millions of subscribers, one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. He contacted me last night on my X account. He thought my Nicola video about corruption, manipulation was funny. He thought the whole thing was funny. Thinks it's funny that he can manipulate the stock. He doesn't seem to understand, or if he does, he doesn't seem to care. This was the moment. Marques Brownlee is one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. He's become famous for reviewing Apple and iPhone and all the rest of it, and now he's reviewing cars. And I thought I'd mention it on this broadcast, as Nicola investors might be interested. This was the moment. Let me show you. Look, Marques Brownlee, he actually contacted me. This is one of the funniest videos I've ever watched. Made my day. He thought the whole thing was funny, and some of the comments don't think it's very funny. Somebody here said, "Yeah, really funny. You can definitely laugh after you destroyed a lot of people's hard-earned money." What it was, he's a huge YouTuber, and he doesn't seem to understand because, and I'm going to try to explain this in the best way possible. There are YouTubers and there are broadcasters, and they are very different. Meet Kevin, Graham Stepan, Marques Brownlee, all of these, Brownlee, I beg your pardon, all of these people did other things, made a few videos, got famous on YouTube. You saw what happened with BitBoy, right? Got famous on YouTube. And all of a sudden, they realized that they can make money, they can sell sponsorship and all the rest of it. And they got a bit big for their boots, and they are not broadcasters, they are YouTubers. They are there to try to create clickbait, thumbnails, dramatic headlines to get you to watch so they make money. Their priority is them making money. That's what a YouTuber is. And he doesn't seem to realize that his comments, because he thought the whole thing was funny, he doesn't understand that his comments are not taken seriously. He's not Jeremy Clarkson. He doesn't have a clue about reviewing cars. I should know. I've grown up watching Jeremy Clarkson on the BBC. There's a way to review cars, and it's not talking about the lack of a glove box. It really isn't what it's about. But that's what he was focusing on. No glove box and silly other things, cup holders and God knows what else. But he knows how to make videos that get reactions, which makes him money. Doesn't seem to understand that we are an investor channel, and I picked up on it and called him out because you're really affecting people's lives. It's a real deal. And people are really affected because even though no one takes your review seriously, they don't. You're just a guy on YouTube who has millions of followers, but you put a negative sentiment out about it's the worst car ever. That's what he said. And people then think, okay, if there's a big YouTuber with millions of subscribers saying this is the worst car ever, of course, people are probably going to sell the stock. And not because they're listening to what he says, but they expect the market to react to what he's saying. It's a very different thing. Yesterday the markets went down before Nvidia, not because they were doing bad, but they were expecting Nvidia to do bad and miss earnings, and then of course it didn't. It did very well. So he doesn't understand that because he got famous on YouTube. Because he got famous on YouTube. He doesn't understand the power. He knows the power of what he's able to do, but doesn't understand the importance and that it affects real people's lives. As long as he makes money, he's lost the connection. And the reason why he and Meet Kevin and Graham Stepan have lost connection is they've never had connection. They got famous on YouTube behind the camera, thinking they're more important than they are. That's what happened. And the reason why I say I'm a broadcaster and not a YouTuber is I toured around the world as the world piano man, every country of the world, performing in theaters and concert halls. That's how I got known. That's how I built my success in life, touring the world. This is my TV studio behind me, visiting, seeing real people coming to real concerts, buying real tickets in person. Real people live on the concerts. Okay. So then when I went on YouTube, this was not as a YouTuber. I'd already had success around the world, real success. People that would sit in a bus or a car or a taxi and drive hours to buy a ticket to see me in a concert. Very different. So I understand people, and I'm not here to get anyone to subscribe to my channel. I actually couldn't care less. I want the channel to be successful, but it will be successful by being live, real, and honest. These guys, they do videos and they do a little bit of live. I'm live all the time because, again, it's about real connections, right? So he contacted me via X and said it's funny. And I replied back, I don't think it's very funny at all. I don't think it's very funny at all. Using your silly manufactured fame, which could go away in 5 minutes, and manipulating stock. He doesn't even know he's doing it because he's not a real journalist, real broadcaster, and doesn't meet his millions of followers, as I have done all around the world. People really get affected by what you say. So he hasn't got a clue. He might be a multimillionaire. He might have millions of followers, but he's a YouTuber. And I find it very disrespectful. You've got people like Meet Kevin, who's constantly doom and gloom. And the guy owns a jet. Meet Kevin, Graham Stepan. Oh, the world's coming to an end. And he has a bloody sports car in his garage. These are people literally taking the piss out of their audiences, and they don't even know they're doing it because they got famous on TV, on YouTube, with nobody there to check them, no one there to reckon them. They've got bigger than their boots, and they don't fully understand the power they have, and they do. So it's not funny at all. And as Sensei has said, my partner here in the show, Sensei Crypto, it's not funny at all. Absolutely, it's not funny. And he needs to stick to iPhones. He doesn't have a clue about reviewing cars. He sat in the car for FSR and he was talking about, well, I don't know if you've seen the video, but at the beginning of the video, it tries to be, I would call it disingenuous, sarcastic, false information. He started off at the beginning of the video by saying, that all my reviews are honest and blah, 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 blah. And Fisker contacted me and said, would I please wait to do the review because we want to upgrade the car. Now, we happen to know he got a car with the lower software on it on purpose. And his argument was, well, this is the car that people have currently got, so I'm going to report on it. It was designed to be specifically negative because we know his relationship with Tesla, okay? And they said, no, let us upgrade the software. And he admits all of this, like it gives him a badge of honor that he ignored the request. Now, I believe it's right that you're not trying to sell a company or advertise a company, even though he gets paid to do that all the time. I've got no sponsorship to promote other businesses. I don't do that at all. But he does. So it's kind of, patron, a bit hypocritical. But anyway, he said, I just want to do it as it is. Well, I put this to you. What if you were test driving a Rolls Royce and it had a puncture? The tire was flat. And you got there and you said, well, I'm just testing it as it is. And Rolls Royce said, but the tires are flat. Can we just pump up the tire? No, this is how it was delivered. This is how people could drive it. And they go, well, it's just got a flat tire. Can we pump it up? No. And I'm honest because I'm just showing it as it is. What a load of rubbish. What an absolute load of rubbish. So he refused them to update the software. He refused for them to update the software and then criticized all the things that were in the actual software. And then what he did to make himself look good and make himself, I've got to make sure I keep my millions of subscribers because I'm earning millions of dollars here. Let me make sure I don't lose any money because actually I don't actually meet anybody. I don't actually have to apologize to anybody. But hey, I want their money to watch my silly videos. He turned around and he said, I wish the very best for Fisker. I hope they do well, but it's the worst car in the world. But, and I'm thinking, obviously this was biased. Obviously, you went in with an agenda. We know that the car was the old software. You was offered the update. You didn't want it. You wanted to make sure it didn't work. Like as I use, for example, a tire being flat. I think that is absolutely flipping ridiculous, and I think it's pathetic. And it just shows you the level of integrity and also the lack of depth of their subscribers. Meet Kevin, a few million. Graham Stepan, a few million. This guy's got many more million. He's like in between those guys and Mr. Beast. He's massive. And I hope that he gets a wake-up call. I hope that people unsubscribe. Seriously, and tell him there are real people sat here listening to you. You just think of us as dollar signs and money, but actually you are affecting people's lives. People that have bought a stock because they're trying to save money, invest for the future. And let's be honest, the people that are buying Nikola and the people that are buying Fisker, there are big institutional investors, but there's a lot of small investors as well. And they want to know that the best is being done. Now, I don't believe you should do a commercial and say Fisker is the greatest thing in the world unless you're paid to do it and that's your job. However, give them the chance to present themselves in the best light. Don't purposely try to make them look bad and then go, oh, well, I wish them the best and blah, blah, blah. That's really, really bad because in this life's hard enough. We've got, by the way, we've got 8 minutes to go before the earnings start, so you're not going to miss it. Just so you know, I'm just talking in between, so keep you all entertained, hopefully. But, give people a chance. You don't have to make stories up. You don't have to exaggerate, but give people a fighting chance and allow them to present themselves in the best possible light because they represent people. They represent employees. They represent jobs. They represent investors. They might not all be the greatest people. I'm sure some people at the company aren't very good. Maybe they're not very nice people and don't deserve any love or respect. I don't know, but we give everyone a chance and everyone the benefit. But when you are a huge YouTuber and you are using your self-inflated nonsense and you got big because you make videos that you can trend on, not going live all day like me. Live all day, you have to be real. You have to be entertaining. You have to be honest. You have to speak to people. You have to face the consequences of your actions, like I was in theatres, in concert halls around the world. That's real. Anyone can make a video and go, this car's rubbish, and put it out, because all they do is look at how much money they've made. They don't care how many people's lives it's destroyed. Anyway, if any of that had any resonance to you, because Fisker's had a lot of bad publicity, of course. It's had some bad people. The founder went to prison. Fisker, Nikola, other stocks had a bad time. I would appreciate you speaking up. So here is the post that he responded to. He thought he's big enough and clever enough and smart enough to reply to me like a big YouTuber, the arrogance of it, and say, this is one of the funniest videos I've ever watched, made my day. He's so completely up his own backside that he thinks I can have millions of subscribers, a smug grin on my face, and I can make millions out of stuffing it to people. Well, you bloody well can't, because in a few years from now, mate, I'm going to have a much bigger YouTube channel than you. I'm telling you that because people want live and I can see my trajectory. So you can have a smug smile on your face, destroying people's lives and destroying people's investments. Well, you get rich, but enjoy the money because it ain't going to last forever. And your subscribers ain't going to last forever because when I have 100 million subscribers, which I will in about 20 years' time, yeah, about 20 years, it take that long, but whatever, I will make certain everybody knows what you're all about. All right? Okay, so if you want to respond to this, here is the link. There is the link to that there. He says he thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny destroying stocks and bringing it all down. So we've got 7 minutes to go. Let me give the link to everybody. If you want to comment to Marques Brownlee's comments, there is the link. I'll give it to my Rumble audience as well. They might want to see it as well. Okay, everyone's got the link now. Let's see if anyone responds. Let's have a little look. So there you go. Have your say. And remember, if you have your say on my channel, I will read it out. I will respond to it. Real life, real person, not behind a camera lens and a smug grin on my face, or lack of, as it happens, and all the rest of it. I actually face my audience. Anyway, whatever. It just really annoys me when people use their inflated fame, which is gone in a second. And if you want me to give an example of when I talk about how empty your fame can actually be, there was a young girl, I think she was 16 or 17, something like that, maybe 18, I don't remember now. Young girl on TikTok. She had millions of followers on TikTok, and she thought she was as famous as Elton John for some reason. She decided that she was like Elton John, and she hired a venue to sign photographs and give autographs. No one turned up. She had millions. Because it's very different when you've built an in-person experience of people that they come out and see you, as opposed to you're just swiping on an app and they follow you. It's not the same. And I'm afraid Marques Brownlee feels like he's above it all now. I've got millions, and he literally thinks he's the voice of Apple. And I think it's really, really bad. Anyway, there you go. There's my penny's worth.